Justice now.
Well, hello, and welcome to another broadcast of Obstruction to Justice. I'm Ann Moles, and Happy New Year! Yeah, Happy New Year. We are getting and moving right along into the new year. The weather here in the greater Kansas City, Missouri area has been bone chilling cold today. A couple of days ago it was kind of nice, but today it was just cold all day. But I'm just glad. I'm glad that I was able to kind of hang out a little bit. Yeah. A big shout out to everybody in the greater Kansas City, Missouri area and those in the great state of Missouri. Now, we're going to be focusing a little bit this year on the state of Missouri for a number of reasons. And I think that you'll kind of get the picture once we get started here on sharing a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. And you know the drill. Here on Obstruction to Justice, we get a chance to talk about current events, the current topics of the day. We get a chance to talk about politics and, of course, my favorite, business. And politics is kind of what's up for what's going on this year. This is an election year that's coming that is actually has already probably been going on because there are people that in campaigns that have already been getting their donations together, campaigning. And yeah, that is something that's going to be big this year. And we've shared a little bit about what to expect. What to expect when it comes to voting. Voting is, of course, a super important thing to do. And when you are an American, you do have that the luxury of voting. Now, there's been some big, huge controversies as far as whether or not elections were stolen. There's all kinds of things, but who knows? As far as stolen elections, right now, this is about the best that we have. And I would just encourage you to continue to participate. Yeah, participate in the the election process. Uh, do that because it's part of what we do and what we have as far as opportunity here in the United States of America and the states as well. We have states that do we vote during the states, and there is a history, and of course the month of the focus of African American history will be coming up here in the next month. But, like I say, and I share during this time of year, I always say that African American history is pretty much every day, seeing that I am an African American woman. So we know and we remember a time when there were, that African Americans could not vote. Women couldn't vote. Um, and of course, that's what the suffrage movement was about. So, since we have an opportunity to vote and that people died for the right to vote and protested for the right to vote and did all of what they needed to do to overcome the obstruction to the justice of the right for all people to vote in this country, then we should take the opportunity to vote. That's what I think, and I do. It doesn't matter what election is going on, I'm going to vote. It could be simple local elections, which are still important because they're important to your local communities, or they could be county elections, which of course is a bigger radius of community. And of course, it could be the state, which this year we have a Senate race coming up. And yes, we've interviewed the candidate, this candidate, and we are just super excited to share with you what's going on with this candidate. We might as well just go ahead and jump right into it. So let me do that. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we're going to get into this quick presentation. We may not stay the whole time today. We kind of came on a little late today and but better late than never, I tell you, because my days I get super busy and I think, okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and pre-record something or, and then jump on. It does not work like that. No. So my best bet is just to go ahead and enjoy the time and participate in this live stream. And you know the drill. So if you have something that you want to share, go ahead and chime in and do that because that's what we can do here and we can talk about it. I think that that's one of the great opportunities that we have here in the United States of America is that there is freedom of speech. We can talk about what's happening. We can talk about how we feel about what's happening, and share with us the research. If there's something that you've discovered about the topics that we're talking about, go ahead and share. And if you want to jump in and say, "Hey, I'd like to chat about this," uh, put that in the chat too, and we'll get to it. So there are just opportunities to talk about what we can in order to make this a better place, a better community, and a better country for the next generation. Yeah. So Ross for U.S. Senate. Yep. Ross for U.S. Senate. We're going to talk about and give an update about what that campaign is doing. We're also going to do what talk about what do political campaigns do with donations. Yeah, you ever think about that? What do they do with the donations? And here, do are we aware that campaigns do accept donations? And with that, yeah, how important is it to donate to a campaign? Yeah, and of course, there's also something going on here that is a historical representation in the U.S. Senate. Historically speaking, there have been some uneven numbers. Let's just say under numbers that where there are certain demographics in the United States that have been underrepresented compared to what they could have been. So we're going to kind of share with you a little bit about that. And yeah, this is there've only been 11 African American senators in the history of the U.S. Senate, in the entire history. Mm. Yeah, that's something to think about. So, just to kind of get your little antennas up there to say, hey, I want to chime in and chat. Get your fingers ready and everything to feel free to subscribe and share the links. That does help. Yeah, that's a way to vote. Do you like what you're seeing? Do you like what you're hearing? Is it something that you'd like to share to get others to participate? So that's just a good thing. It's a good thing. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just so excited because we've had this company, this team on obstruction to justice before, and they are in support of the candidate that we have been endorsing as well. And that is Dr. Gina Ross for U.S. Senate. And we are excited that the campaign is going on. And we're excited that this team, and this is a team, I don't know if you remember, you can go back in some of the broadcasts. Uh, Brother Kareem Jackson has been with us on obstruction to justice, and he has shared his thoughts and feelings about what's going on and concerns and his research as well. But he is a business owner, and one of the entrepreneurial efforts that he does is that this is the Black Kansas City Magazine. Now, I don't know whether or not you have been following the Black Kansas City Magazine, but there has been a great opportunity for this. This company, the Black Kansas City Magazine, to feature African American companies, African American businesses in this magazine. And this is a digital magazine, and you can subscribe to it. That's kind of where business is going now, doing subscriptions. And it also has a great directory where you can go to blackkansascitymag.com and do a search. And there you'll be able to see local businesses within the greater Kansas City, Missouri area communities and local businesses, African American owned businesses that are featured here. So you'll be able to check them out. You'll be able to know what is going on with them, where they are, so that, of course, you can support that African American owned, that Black business. We believe in supporting Black businesses as well. So here, I don't know if you've spotted it, but here it is, the endorsement that Black Kansas City Mag.com gave Dr. Gina Ross, the endorsement for Dr. Gina Ross for U.S. Senate for the state of Missouri. And I'm going to go ahead and click on it. So you just go to blackkansascitymag.com and you'll see the endorsement image there. You can just click on it and it'll take you to a page here, and you can just kind of see what this advertising, this pop up here. You just X out of that, but you'll see the endorsement. The endorsement for Dr. Gina Ross for U.S. Senate. And this endorsement was sent over and published on January 4th. And this is what it is. This is what it looks like. So this is super. It's of course, it's an image of Dr. Gina Ross, and it says the endorsement of U.S. Senate, Missouri, 2022 vote Dr. Gina Ross. Endorsement. And it says travel, lifestyle, investments, entrepreneurship, and leisure. The Black Kansas City Magazine, formerly the award winning Minority Success Magazine. So it does encourage you again to vote. Yeah, so you'll see that. And there's a great article here that does feature the announcement where Dr. Ross did file for the U.S. Senate, and it does mention that she's ran for public office before, and we are aware of that. She shared that, and she actually won the uh, the election before the main general election. So she won the primary election. And with that, uh, then she ran against the incumbent in for the actual general election. Okay. Now, she didn't win that election, but she did win the uh, congressional seat. And here, this is a news article, and it explains Platte City resident files for U.S. Senate. And it is by Dennis Sharkey who wrote this. And it's just a blurb, but it's an interesting read. So blackkansascitymag.com featured that. And it did write up a really good write up on the endorsement. And it, of course, it shares what Dr. Gina, how she feels. We talked about it last time. If you lost your focus, refocus by redefining your purpose. Yeah, and then she does state that, in my opinion, my opinion is that America needs to refocus. There are too many unnecessary distractions that are taking away from we, the people, that's in quotes, being represented 100%. Let's do better because we know better. And it does share how she runs on integrity, sustainability, and accountability. That's what she's running on, paving the way for change. That's another campaign slogan. And it gives the actual website. Actually, you can go out there and email Dr. Gina at rossforussenate.com. But even better, you can actually go out to the website, and that website is rossforussenate.com. So if you would click on that, then it will take you to the website where you'll be able to, yeah, donate. And we're going to share that again a little bit later. There's a big blue donate button out there. And we'll share that a little later too for you to be aware that campaigns do cost. They do cost money. Now, she ran a very successful, I know a little bit, she had shared when she was here on the broadcast. She ran a very successful grassroots campaign where, once you start looking for, when you're running for these political offices, doing anything, of course, takes resources, okay, money. Okay. So doing that, and she ran, but didn't have the real big budget to even overcome and win that particular election. But she did, right? So it just proves that running a grassroots campaign, and this is something that she did, she ran, she wasn't well, but she ran, she did the social media, which is a big difference and big turn from the old school way of how campaigns were ran. So she did that and really, and it hasn't changed. The formula hasn't changed because we are now in an era of social media and grassroots. You don't really have to have a lot of money to be on TV anymore. Now, you have the big news shows or whatever, and it really just takes maybe the invitation to get on some of those big news shows. But when you run a campaign and you click and share those links, that right there is a way to notify and let people know that this is what's going on and this candidate is a great candidate, and really to at least do some research, right? Do some research, and if you think your candidate is great, I say share the information so that others can uh, do their research and say, hey, this is a great candidate. What do you think? And of course, I kind of know there's going to be opportunities where she's going to be very vocal and you'll get a chance to ask questions. There's going to be open forums. There's going to be opportunities for you to be able to share and ask questions and to get to know this candidate to the point to where you will say, "Oh yeah, this is the lady. This is the woman that is going to bring change and is going to help Missouri grow into uh, the next wave of what needs to happen." Yeah. So you can go out there and check her out at rossforussenate.com and go check out that endorsement at blackkansascitymag.com. It's pretty cool. Yeah, do that. Now, what do political campaigns do with donations? Yeah, you kind of wonder. And I don't think that people are aware that it does take money. You hear about it, and you hear these big, huge dollar amounts too, don't we? We hear these big, huge dollar amounts, and maybe that's because, maybe that's the reason why we don't really do very many, we don't support the different candidates in that way, financially speaking. We hear all of the millions of dollars, and it's overwhelming. And it's, oh, well, they have the millions of dollars, but in my day to day routine and grind of living, I don't have the resources or whatever. Maybe we think that. But, sometimes it's a good idea to think about voting with your dollars. Now, we've talked about how you can support Black businesses and you vote with going and doing business with African American owned Black business, so that they can stay in business, but then that's a way to vote. You're saying, okay, I support this business. And then, of course, you're telling your friends about it and your family members. Hey, this is a great place. I have great customer service or whatever. I receive great customer service. They have great products. So, that's a way to share. Well, when you're dealing with politics, it's no different. It's no different. We don't get these people in by chance. People aren't just voted in all of a sudden by chance, or they don't run for these particular seats. They don't run in these campaigns. They don't become candidates just by chance. It's not like they wake up in the morning and someone is just all of a sudden there's a name that appears on the campaign trail or the ballot box. That's not how it happens. They run, they think about it, they run, but then they have to tell people that this is what's going on. And part of the campaign political, the donations for that are given, that's used for the advertisement. You'd be surprised, just to get the word out. Now, advertising budget, we did talk about how social media can really cut that budget down, and it does, right? But there's still some other things that need to go on, and that are just good for the campaign, because we're looking at the state of Missouri. Mm, The state of Missouri has millions of people in it. So, how in the world are we going to get the word out that this candidate, Dr. Gina Ross, here in who lives in Platte City, in the state of Missouri, right? This is the Kansas City side. How are we going to get the word out to the rest of the state, whether they be in St. Louis area or the Springfield, Missouri area? It takes resources to do that and to work across the state just to make it happen. So political campaigns, they do involve considerable expenditures. Now, I actually went out, these resources are out there. Information is out there. Now, what we do some scrubbing. We scrub. We check to the and research the stat, right? We do our best to do that. And we just don't regurgitate. Some people get on and it's like, okay, well, we're just going to say the same thing that this person said, that this person said, that and on down the line. Well, you want to make sure that what you're sharing is correct, right? So it does it involves considerable contributions or expenditures. You're looking at travel costs and candidate staff, political consulting, advertising, we just talked about. Campaign spending does depend on the region. And this is something that Wikipedia was sharing. And it's a little bit out there, not a whole lot. But for instance, the United States, you have the television advertising time. Now, it does cost, and the opportunity to get to that point, yeah, there's some costs in that as well. So the money needs to be raised to maintain the campaign. It will diminish if you don't have resources. It's just like anything else. It does take money. And there's some candidates, you'll hear that there's some candidates that they'll put up some of their own money. These millionaires, and we've heard some of those in the past, they'll just put up some of their own money and run. And that's cool. But also too, you want to kind of know that these donations, when you do receive donations, people are wanting you to share their interests and they're voting to say, hey, this candidate has the same types of interests that I have, right? So, and that's important, but then you don't want to be bought, right? So the candidate has to kind of think about, well, yeah, I'm going to receive this donation here, but just know that this is the platform that we're running on, and these are the points of interest that we're really focusing on. We believe these are important and kind of go there. Um, so, anyway, you're talking about raising money. Contributions are important. So, when you're thinking about your candidate coming up here, this political time frame this year, 2022, which is an election year, when you think about it, think about who you're wanting to represent you in the state of Missouri, but they're going to the United States Senate. So they're going to sit in Washington, right? So who do you want to represent you in Washington? And we've got some really interesting people that that have gone to Washington and that are sitting there in Washington even now, right? All right, let's look here. Now, Uh, continuing on with what do political campaigns do with donations? Was just interested. I wanted to take a look at what senator, he's a current senator here in the state of Missouri, and he was voted in 2018. So that was the year when his term was when he was voted in. Now, 2018, he ran his election in 2018 and his campaign fundraising, it was from 2015 to 2020. Now, this resource came from opensecrets.org. I got a little bit there, but I'm going to show you where the primary financial information for any United States candidate is, and that's at the fec.gov, the Federal Election Commission.gov does monitor and the reporting for the donations and donations are given there for the candidate. Now, I liked the opensecrets.org uh, information here, and I just pulled just a tiny bit of it, but it just has a nice picture of Josh Hawley. Just, you can see him, and it tells a little bit, armed forces, homeland security and governmental affairs, judiciary. These are the committees, small business and entrepreneurship. So the uh, the campaign raised, now this is a high number because when I did compare it to the Federal Election Commission, the FEC site, this was a little high. Okay, but it says that you raised 14 million, uh, 22,893 dollars. Okay, that's what was raised, and this was for the 2015 to 2020. Now that's during that time frame, which was beyond even when he ran, which was 2028. But it also shows too the source of the funds. Now there are all different types of organizations and companies that do donate to candidates. And you ever wonder why, candidates are endorsed by this? Endorsements are super important, right? Because of course, that's what they're saying, that they're really supporting this candidate because they have the same types of values and they want to see those changes and they want to see that representation, the voice that speaks for them. They want to see that in that particular political position, right? So they gave numbers on the large individual contributions that were given, and that was like 8,775,529. Okay, so large individual contributors. They had small individual contributors. That was those that gave less than $200. Okay, that's that category. And those that gave less than $200, that was like $2,485,763. Okay. then you had other, then you had political action committee contributions, and they gave to Josh Hawley's campaign $1,211,241. Okay. But it shows that the percentage, most of the funds, the campaign funds that were raised for this fundraising efforts was the donors were large individual contributions, and that was at 62.58%. So that those that can contribute big dollars did to Josh Hawley. Josh Hawley is a Republican, and of course, he's a state of Missouri senator. State of Missouri gets 2 senators to represent them in the United States Senate. Okay, now the candidate self-financing. How much money did Josh Hawley give to his campaign? $0. See, $0. Hey, don't get me wrong. If someone else is gonna foot the bill, okay. But you know, I don't know. What do you give, right? If you believe in what you're doing, I guess you're giving really your whole self, right? Your conversation and your intellect, your everything. So you're doing that. Uh and that's kind of important to know, right? But really, too, I don't know, grassroots is a little different because you're going to put up your money and you're going to do and spend your resources and do what you can. And that's kind of showing a passion when you can put up some of your funds. That's a passion move to me. So anyway, that was where the numbers there. But uh, again, this he's going to run again the election in 2024. So not this year. This is the year that Roy Blunt would have ran, but he's not going to run. He's just going to move on, and that's giving uh, the opportunity for other candidates to run. Which, of course, one of the candidates is Dr. Gina Ross. Now, the 2024 election is oh, he already has uh, donations set up, contributions, total contributions. Now, this is coverage date. That's January 1st, 2019 to September 30th, 2021. This is what he's reported to the Federal Election Commission, of course, which monitors the finances for campaigns, committees. And already, Josh Hawley, according to this report, has $9,095,477.07 already. Okay. So just because he's not up for reelection per se, he's not up for reelection right away. He's not up for reelection until 2024. You're still in election mode, right? You're still in, let's work with the campaign. We know we're going to need resources, and you're still campaigning, even though you're not campaigning too aggressively campaigning to get to that point to where you're going to have an election within the year, right? So just keep that in mind. And that kind of shed some light on, I saw it. I'm like, wow, we're not going to wait till the last minute to try to support our candidate. Once they say they're going to run, our best bet is to get out there and let them know, let the whole state of Missouri know that our candidate is running for a particular position, or if it's a local election or whatnot. Get the word out and keep going with it. So that was an interesting point there. All right, now let's go a little bit to, I want to kind of take a detour and just look at the history of the U.S. Senate. a little bit. Now, this was an article on CNN.com, and it's by Faith Karimi, Karimi. And this article was written in January 25th, 2021. That's when it was last updated. So around that time, I would think January, but it was updated. And it says that in the nearly 232-year history of the U.S. Senate, there have only been 11 Black senators. Mhm. Yeah, that I just 11 Black senators, and that's including Reconstruction, right? So Reconstruction in the 1870s, 1871, because Reconstruction was like that long. uh, as far as time frame, it was hardly no time. Uh, they quickly did away with representation of African Americans being part of the representation and of the political representation process, the government process. So I just found that to be interesting. And, there's this great picture that we see here that I found in reference to the article. And of course, we see Barack Obama. We see a few other people that we recognize as well. The So, with that, we just kind of the it says here that the people of color have historically had a tougher time getting elected to the Senate. And newly elected Raphael Warnock is only the 11th Black U.S. senator since the Senate convened for the first time in 1789. Only two of those have been women. Okay. And with the departure of Kamala Harris, the number of Black female U.S. senators is now at zero. So, voters in urban congressional districts tend to be more diverse and politically progressive, driving the higher number of minorities in the House. But that has had little effect on the number of Black senators. Okay. So, of the two, only the two women, they haven't been there hasn't been any the number of Black senators, female Black senators, it's been zero. Okay. So here we're getting a great opportunity to support a very capable, very capable woman to participate and represent uh, in the United States Senate for the state of Missouri. So we're getting that opportunity to vote for her so that she can go do the job. All right. And be that. There's been the number of Black female U.S. senators is now at zero. Only two of those have been women. All right. So we want to kind of get that going. Black U.S. Senate candidates, and especially Black politically progressive Democratic candidates, have found it difficult to get traction and win statewide elections due to the default political conservatism in white majority regions of the U.S. And says Carlos Hill. He is the chair of African American Studies at the University of Oklahoma. And, we just talked about, look, if you're running for the Missouri U.S. Senate, the state of Missouri is big. Yeah. And so you got to get the word out that there's somebody out there doing the job, that wants to do the job, that's capable of doing the job, qualified and to do the job. And you got to get the word out there. So I think what he's saying is that it's been difficult to do. And yeah, part of what the resources, the donations would do is that it would give the candidate, the campaign, the opportunity to get that word out through advertising, through supporting uh, local people there, volunteers, but even volunteers need resources to volunteer with. Yeah, to get out there and make some things happen. So I just think that it's just been it's very interesting, and here is a great opportunity that will give the United States, the Missouri Senate, an opportunity to really kind of redeem themselves. We're still looking at their majority women in as far as demographics in the state of Missouri. So that's a plus. And we're looking at the concerns of people here, African Americans, we do have the same concerns as European American women, as Asian American women. We're women, and there's still um, a just being able to know and having that conformity to know, hey, there are certain issues that are native to women, and the concerns of women. And I think she's really sharing that too. But of course, to speak for all Missourians as well, because there are situations that are important to all Missourians, and she's up on those as well. So I just think that this is just a great opportunity to support it and make these numbers a lot better, make them a lot better than just what it's been. All right. Now, we've been talking about fundraising, right? And what I found is, and this is an article, the Guardian, theguardian.com. Now, The Guardian is actually a UK online um, publishing newspaper. Okay. But it's, what is it? It's the US part of it. They're writing about what's going on. So there's some interesting ideals and pretty right on, right? So it says that Black candidates for US Senate smash fundraising records for 2022 midterms. Okay, so this is considered a midterm election coming up, and it's showing a picture of Val Demings, and it says raised 8.5 million in 3 months for her race against Senator Marco Rubio. There are currently no Black women in the Senate. Okay, and this photograph was done by Bill Clark slash CQ Roll Call Incorporated, Getty Images. All right, so there are currently no Black women in the Senate, and she's wanting to make that difference. Okay, we talked about Josh Hawley. He already has like 9 million to get him jump started. He's already got 9 million for his 2024 election, and he still has a couple years to go, right? Well, Val Demings, it says that she raised the 8.5 million. She's raised that in just 3 months, which that's huge. Oh, wow. That's saying, hey, we want this candidate in representing us, and she must be on point for something there. But I also think that it's because you get the word out. You get the word out that this is a sharp, capable, uh, ready to hit the ground running and make some things happen. Uh, interests of all of the constituency that she's representing. And that says something. African American candidates running for the U.S. Senate smashed campaign fundraising records over the past 3 months, raising hopes of transforming a body that remains overwhelmingly white. Okay, yeah. I mean, you want equal representation. You do. Now, if since that's the case, you have so many Senate seats, and there's no, well, you can do the African Americans, but let's get some African American females doing some things too. Says here there have only been 11 black senators since the chamber first convened in 1789, and only two were women. Senator Kamala Harris' ascent to the vice presidency means there are currently no female members who are black. So she was, before she was the vice president, voted in as the vice president. Okay, well, we still need some representation there, and I think that will take us to that level if we can get these give these women the opportunity to speak and to lead in those positions. Now, it says too, in the most recent federal election commission reporting period, it says that African Americans posted huge sums from donors, especially in the South. Okay, suggesting the potential to build a pipeline of Black politicians who can excite the grassroots and reshape the government. Okay, well, I think of grassroots too, as maybe not having the resources. And okay, so now they have them. And it sounds like it's been going on in the South. Uh, Midwest, Missouri, come on, we need to catch up. We need to catch up and make some things happen there. Do some donating and supporting the diverse candidates that are available, and especially the candidate that we're supporting here. And I would suggest vote for Dr. Gina Ross. Yeah. So where is that donate button, and what happens if I choose it, if I select it? Let's check that out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to go out to and share the when you click on where you're donating. So when you click on that donate button at the the www.rossforussenate.com, when you click on that button, it's going to take you to this page, secure.actblue.com/donate/Dr. Okay, Gina Ross for U.S. Senate. Okay, so this is where you go. Now, it has a great picture of her here with, I believe it's Biden, huh? So it also gives information. It says, I stand for truth, justice, and economic empowerment. Let's move forward and build bridges and close gaps together for all American families. Will you lend your support and contribution to the causes as I am vying to be your next U.S. Senate Missouri representative? Thank you in advance. And you can go out here, and there's uh, donated amounts that designated. Give $5, $10, $25, and a place where you can just put whatever you'd like to donate. Okay. And you would think that the $5 $5 makes a difference. So if you have, just the simple math of it, if you have, uh, say, for instance, let's do a great number, 400,000. So if you have 400,000 people and times $5, right there you have, a real good number. You have the $2 million right there, just giving $5, right? So, and it's more than 400,000 people in the state of Missouri. All right. So that's cool. And it's actually a video. So if you want to go out there and and check it out. Let's see what. Oh, it's a paving the way for change. Okay, and she's got. That's a great song. If you want to go out there and check it out, it's a fun song. We'll probably play it coming up. We'll feature it and play it. Yeah. So that's the deal. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. You want to participate. You want to get out there and make sure your vote counts. You want to have representation that has your interest in mind too. Not just one-sided the way it's always kind of been, right? And I think it's kind of a fun but also proud thing to know that hey, we got together, we did this grassroots level. Yeah, we told someone about the candidate and what we appreciate about the candidate, and we shared that. And it's just, and we told our family and friends about it, and we participated, we donated. However small you think your donation is, it's not too small. So you made a donation, and you participated in the democratic process that the United States of America uh, provides, So the republic, democratic republic, and that's what we do. We vote. So here in the state of Missouri, another thing just to remind you that even if you are a Republican, so say for instance, you always vote Republican. Well, the state of Missouri doesn't require that you vote the party that you registered with. So during voter registration, you can say, okay, well, I registered as a Republican. Well, maybe your Democratic candidate is a better fit this time. They have more going on. They're the better candidate this election. Well, in the state of Missouri, during that primary, you can vote for when you walk up to the table, they'll ask you, you want Democrat or Republican? And if your candidate that you prefer, because they're the better candidate this season, this year, this voting season, then you can ask for that Democratic ballot and then go vote for the Democratic representative that you would like to see in the general election, right? So then whoever wins that primary goes to the general election, and then from there, that's where they go head to head with the Democratic and the Republican candidates, right? So that's one great reason for living in the state of Missouri. When it's time to vote, you can vote for the better candidate. You're not tied to having to vote a certain way because you registered. Yeah. There's going to be some voter registration drives going on. Young people, vote. Yeah, because you're young today and then you'll be older tomorrow, and you want a better future for yourself and for yourselves and for your families to come as well. So this is the way to do it, to make it happen, and to educate and research what it is that that candidate is doing. Follow the candidate, you know. So she's out there on Facebook. Dr. Gina Ross is on Facebook. She's on LinkedIn. Yeah, she's on Twitter. She's even on TikTok. Yeah. So you can go out there and check her out as well. And of course, on the website, her website, you can definitely go out there to rossforussenate.com and learn more about her, and also donate. Yeah. Vote with your dollar. Volunteer. Sign up. maybe you have some time, or you're wanting to invest some time in your candidate, Dr. Gina Ross, go out there and sign up to volunteer. And I'm sure they'll get back with you to do just that, give you some options and opportunities to share with you about the needs, right? All right. Well, it's been fun. It's been fun. And, I just take care. Take care, and we'll see you. I always say, if the Lord says the same, we'll see you next time. Justice now.